So first we saw the Mad Ghoul, eh?
We did.
1943. He wasn't very mad. He wasn't very angry. He was the other kind of mad.
The boring ghoul.
He was the mad scientist kind of mad.
Yeah. 1943 Universal film directed by James Hogan. Written by Brenda Weisberg and Paul Gangling. Stars Turhan Bay, Evelyn Ankers, David Bruce, George Zucco, and Robert Armstrong, an hour and 6 minutes. How about that top billing at Turhan Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did he get like 3 words in and 2 minutes of screen time?
About that. Maybe 6 words.
Yeah, I wonder what the top billing was
6
for
words
that,
in 12
because he
minutes.
was just really a very minor character.
Very supporting, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy ending for him at the end, but, you know.
About the only one, but
yeah.
That's just weird. I guess 1943, he had done some of the Mummy movies.
I guess that was
I
enough.
don't think the Phantom of the Opera had come out yet.
Compared to everybody else in the movie.
Yeah,
he was number 1.
Well, George Zucco, he was the old man in the Mummy, all those Mummy movies. You know, the old man who you sent out the Fez people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in all of those, even though he died in the first one. And the other names don't really mean much to me. I don't know who those other people are. We haven't seen much of them.
Therefore, top billing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the professor explains that the ancient Mayans in class, the professor explains that the ancient Mayans used to know a lot about poison gas, and they had some very specific uses for their poison gas. They didn't use it to kill people, but instead it turned them into mindless slaves. He's going to spend the summer break investigating this gas. It seems that the Mayans cut out the hearts of sacrifices to bring people back from death caused by this gas. My teachers were never that interesting.
And coincidentally, he takes on this student.
Yeah. Dr. Morris then asks his student Ted to be his assistant during the summer months. Ted is all in for that, but he and the professor first have to stop and listen to Ted's fiancée Isabel sing on the radio. Priorities.
Yeah.
The two of them go into the lab and look at a dead monkey. It's not really dead.
It's not dead.
It's just under the effect of the Mayan gas that the professor has reproduced.
It's like magic.
The gas will eventually kill the monkey, but the professor intends to reverse the poison using a chemical derived from the hearts of the dead. And they do it, and they revive the monkey.
And in order to do this, you need some dead, don't you?
You got to kill kill a monkey, yeah.
Or dig somebody up or something. No, spoilers.
Did they kill a monkey? How did they bring the monkey back?
They used another monkey's heart.
It was a monkey, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That evening, Ted and Isabel come by to Dr. Morris's house for a visit. Dr. Morris realizes that Isabel has fallen out of love with Ted, and the old doctor quickly tries to move in on her, and he asks if he can help her dump him. Hi there, young lady who's half my age. You've just broken up with your boyfriend. You like old men?
You can call me Daddy if you want.
Professor. The next morning, Ted says he's going to ask Isabel to marry him later in the afternoon. The doctor, on the other hand, boils up some poison gas and tricks Ted into walking into a room full of it. Ted doesn't die, but he becomes completely suggestible and he looks like a zombie.
It's a dirty trick to play on him.
Yeah. Morris then tells Ted to forget all about Isabel. Which he says it's going to make it suggestible, and the Mayans used it to make slaves. Does Ted forget about Isabel?
No.
Morris and Ted head over to the cemetery, and then they dig up a body to cut out the heart. The doctor does something with the heart. We never really see what. And sure enough, the next morning,
Blender.
Ted is normal again.
Blender. Smoothie. Heart smoothie.
Everything is looking good for the doctor until the test monkey suddenly keels over dead.
Oopsie. Complications.
The antidote is only temporary. Ted doesn't realize his time is counting down as he doesn't know what happened to the monkey. Isabel gets word that Ted is coming to town for a visit, and her new boyfriend, Eric, doesn't like the idea.
Eric is not her new boyfriend. He's been her accompanist for quite some time.
Yeah,
and
but
they have fallen in love.
Kind of moving in on things, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Morris's commands to the zombie didn't quite take, since Ted is still infatuated with her. Just as Ted asks Isabel to marry him, he relapses into his zombie state.
Oops.
Stress seems to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He and Morris make a quick trip to this town cemetery and knock out the caretaker. They steal his heart instead of digging up a fresh corpse.
Fresh this time.
Why dig when you can have fresh?
That's right.
Isabel and Morris have dinner, and she explains that she's involved with Eric now. That night, Ted becomes the Mad Ghoul again. Morris turns Ted against Eric and orders Ted to kill him. Isabel interrupts things, and Morris and Ted drive away and find another cemetery-raised heart. Meanwhile, the reporter who has been working on the case figures out that for every murder, Isabel has been singing in the same town.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
Also, grave robbing going on.
Yeah.
Something is afoot.
Every town that she goes to.
Mm-hmm.
He works it out with the local undertaker to pretend to be a fresh corpse in the next town where Isabel's going to be playing. Sure enough, Ted and Morris come in to claim the heart, and the reporter sees them. And it doesn't work out so well for the reporter.
No.
Sometimes you can be too smart for your own good.
Mm-hmm.
Now the police get involved, and they're on to the Isabel connection and to the ghoul as well.
Yeah, leaving a trail a mile wide.
Yeah. Well, the reporter told everybody what he thought and what he... Yeah, and he was right.
It's pretty obvious.
They question Isabel, and they think Eric is the murderer. She suspects Ted. Ted realizes that his nightmares are real. He now remembers everything. See, he's kind of... He didn't know about it before. It wasn't really him.
Mm-hmm. No,
Ted
he does.
Ted now mixes up some of the poison gas and wrecks the lab before changing into the ghoul again. Morris comes in and orders Ted to kill Eric and then himself. Ted walks off with a gun, and then Morris inhales the gas, freaks out, and runs off.
Oops.
Isabel and Eric are on stage performing when Ted walks up on stage with a gun. The police, who are sitting right there in the audience, shoot him. Morris then heads to the cemetery and starts digging for a heart, but dies before he can find one. The end.
Tragic ending for, kind of a bummer of an ending. Except for Eric and Isabel.
Well, Ted didn't do anything wrong. He was kind of the victim here.
Yeah, and he ends up dying.
Yeah. Did not work out well for him.
No.
Oh, well.
The only zombie Universal horror film.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the only one that even comes close to a zombie film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, but it was very predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Ted was part zombie, part Jekyll and Hyde as he turned back and forth. And overall, this one's just sort of mediocre. It's not really a bad film, just sort of bland.
Sort of bland and mediocre.
Yeah.
And that's our show. Stop in during the week to the website, horrorguys.com. Check us out on social media, or tune into the full-length audio podcast.
Yes, everything here, our weekly show is done as a full-length, around an hour audio podcast each week.
Where we talk about all the movies. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us out. Give some likes and subscribes.
Yep. And horrorguys.com has, of course, all our reviews in writing. If you want to read more, sometimes we'll forget the line here or there. So if you want to read them, check out horrorguys.com.
Yeah.
And I'm Brian.
I'm Kevin.
And we'll see you at the next movie.
See ya.